Canadian artist Viktor Mitic has received a lot of attention with his medium of choice. His work includes a series of paintings using pop art images, and what makes his art unique is that after he puts down his paintbrush, Viktor picks up a gun. And Viktor Mitic joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. So the idea behind this is that you outline or help to create the image through bullet holes. Why?
Yes. Well, over the last 6 years, I've been exploring this concept of symbiotic relationship between beauty and violence. And I paint these two-dimensional surfaces, usually acrylics on canvas. I use iconic images, pop art type of style, where I paint the subject, then I outline it with bullet holes.
How do you do this, and where do you do it?
How do I do it? Well, I actually have to use real guns and real ammunition to make the effect that I want to get done. And I have to go to different private properties or gun ranges to do that.
What's it like when you're actually shooting the gun off, firing the gun off into your artwork? How do you feel?
Well, it feels weird. It's loud. It's dangerous. And there's no going back. Once you pull the trigger, that's it for it. It's an unforgiving method.
What's the commentary that's going through your mind while you're doing this? Because you really are almost destroying your painting with the bullet holes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is. It's destroying and creating at the same time. That's the concept that I was working with. I'm usually painting these iconic images, the images of faith. Something symbolizes peace, and I'm embedding the opposing force into it at the same time. So creating, an effect of bringing the viewer, I guess, as close as possible to the actual bullet hole, the devastating effect the bullet can make on a surface.
You recently took a school bus, to Washington, D.C. You called the bus Incident. It had 6,000 bullet holes in it and was dedicated to the victims of school violence. So how was that received?
That was an unbelievable experience. We took the bus through the streets of Washington. We took it to the White House and Washington, like major monuments in the city. We stopped at various locations, interviewed people. We had the bus on a flatbed truck, and there was no sign on it to tell people what it is. So people, when we stop, people will show up and ask us, okay, what happened? How many people died? Because it looked like a forensic evidence. It looked like something that actually did happen somewhere. Once we explained that there was an actual art exhibit, people were kind of relieved, and
I want to ask you
liked
about the criticisms towards this and your response to it. A lot of people, some people would suggest that it's glorifying violence. Others would say that it is touching on a subject that is simply too raw for a lot of people to talk about and even look at images. Explain that. And I'm thinking of the bus, for example.
Yeah.
How would you respond to those?
Well, I chosen that very carefully. Like, I wanted to get an object that is a symbol of something very pure, something of innocence, and I embedded the exact opposite into the surface of it. I used raw firepower to modify this bus and make it into an empty shell. So yeah, there is going to be a lot of people shocked, and I think that's the base of the art. Like, the art is, that's what the art is all about. It should provoke people, get them to have some dialogue about the issues.
It must have been emotional to do that, because even me watching you do it just on the screen, it's tough to watch a school bus be riddled by bullets, and you actually did it. What were your feelings as you were creating this art?
Yeah, I have kids. And I know exactly how I feel. I felt exactly the same way. It's destroying something sacred. But I wanted to get people to actually see exactly what happens. This is 21st century. We have way too many guns. And in some cases, it's cheaper to buy bullets than art materials.
That's an interesting comment on where we are.
How much did your background play a role in this? You moved from Serbia to Toronto, or to Canada at least, 25 years ago. Obviously, you experienced conflict and war zones in your own life, I imagine. Tell me how much that shaped who you are as an artist.
Well, that's an interesting fact. But I watched all of that on TV here, because I was studying at the U of T, and that's kind of distant past. I've seen videos on YouTube where soldiers in villages were getting into religious monuments, monasteries, and churches in Kosovo and shooting frescoes up. And that kind of got me the idea of exploring the coexistence of beauty and violence and yeah, more or
Which
less.
of your works has received the most feedback, whether it's positive or negative? I know that you made a portrait of Jesus. Like, do people, that would be very upsetting for a lot of people.
Yeah, that would be very upsetting. That's one of the first pieces that I've done. I got a lot of comments, both positive and negative, especially from religious people. I got some very positive remarks regarding this piece because they were saying that this is sort of glorifying the power of Jesus and making him sort of bulletproof.
Here's the thing, do you ever, and I know that sometimes this is the purpose of art, is do you ever worry that somebody will take your message and sort of flip it around and, you know, maybe some young kid will see this painting and think, oh, that's really cool, playing with guns and pictures. Do you ever worry about that?
Yeah, but that's a very good point. There's issues, and for me, I'm not an activist. I'm an artist, so I'm kind of bringing people together and trying to get the issues out there, getting them to talk about it, and I hope nobody gets a hold of any guns ever. There'll be one day in a perfect world there'll be actually no guns, zero guns, zero ammunition.
I'm with you on
And
that.
hopefully, you know, guns are going to be going the way of analog camera, you know, into extinction.
Then you'll have a whole different kind of art.
We'll do something much quieter. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Viktor Mitic, and the show Bulletproof. The exhibit is taking place at the Peach Gallery, which is on College Street, until April the 28th. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
7